Hi. Trying to get this angle right. That's better. Right. There's only one video this week. I did tell you a couple of weeks ago that I was sort of taking sort of a break, but not a full break. I'm not uploading my usual 3 times, but this week will only be once. And I've got an interesting one for you. Now, originally we're going to talk about this young lady because, like so many people that have transferred over from Musical.ly, Vine and various other things, she was relatively innocuous. She didn't really... The only drama around her was that nobody was ever sure what her age was. Well, that's changed over the last couple of weeks. Now, depending on the source or the time when you ask her, sometimes she says she's 15, sometimes she says she's 14, sometimes she says she's 13. So, we're not sure exactly of her age, but it's somewhere between 13 and 15. And this is the 2 issues that's caused her to fall into the drama and fall into social commentary scope of things. She has gone from Musical.ly to YouTube. She does do YouTube. And like I say, she wasn't that big of a thing on my radar until this happened. She's saying that she's pregnant and she's saying that she's married. She gained fame on Musical.ly, then when that shut down, she transferred over to YouTube. Sorry, there's a fly in the corner of my room. It's doing my head in. And over the last couple of weeks, she's done videos saying that she's pregnant, and she's done videos saying that she's getting married. Which includes telling the family, the wedding, and various other things. Now, the mother has actually spoken to BuzzFeed News, and said that they didn't legally marry. In Nevada, which is the state where they apparently got married, because in the video where they told her family that she was pregnant and that they were getting married, they said you don't need a license in Nevada to get married. You do, anyway you do. But that being said, in Nevada, anybody under the age of 16 needs to get a court order authorising the marriage licence for it to be issued. And according to online court records in Las Vegas, for Cohen or her boyfriend Mike Tuna, that's never happened. They claim they got married in Vegas. Now, the marriage was done for clickbait. It was the promise commitment ceremony, like what Jacqueline Glenn and Social Repose had, like Jake had with his ex. It's that type of marriage. And if you watch the video, it's blatantly obvious that it's a fake marriage. But a lot of people didn't pay attention to what was going on. And apparently they say in the actual video that it is just a commitment ceremony. And the mother is quoted as saying, she committed to her best friend in Vegas. Legally, they can't get married. Then she did a video, so that's dealt with the whole marriage thing. So she's not married. She committed to her best friend, to a boyfriend. She did a commitment ceremony and nothing else. And now we're going to the marriage ceremony. She claimed in a video dated the 11th of April, I think. Or it wasn't that. It was like 4 or 5 days ago. But a couple of days before she did that video, she was doing questions with her mom. And she says, or she was doing assumptions, the assumptions tag. And one of the assumptions is that she's pregnant. And she said, well, I've never done anything to be pregnant with. And that was a couple of days before the I'm pregnant shit. And she also said in January she hadn't done anything to get pregnant with. So one video was talking about assumptions and one video was talking about first times. So, and I was edging on the the thing that she's not pregnant. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, because it does, but there was just a lot of red flags for me in the whole situation that made me think, no, she's not pregnant. Then while I was doing the research for this video, I came across Horizon's Eclipse, and he did some detective work. And he identified the building, room and business that she was in when she had the ultrasound. And he identified that through all that information, that she was at a dentist, which matches with the chair that she sat in when she does the picture for Instagram. The pinky purple chair is very indicative of a dentist chair, not the type of chair you would sit in to have a scan. That's a completely different type of chair. And there is also no footage of the scan, and he actually identifies one of the woman that's in the video that's saying, oh, the scan went okay, as somebody that works for the dentist office. So what's likely has happened is they've paid the dentist office to be able to go in and fake an ultrasound. She also says she's 5 months, which brought into question what she said in the past. Could she be lying in the past? Yes. Is she lying in the past? I don't think so. I think that this is just a whole thing to gain fame, to gain money, because she sees all these family vloggers getting more and more subscribers every time they get pregnant, and that people want to watch people's kids grow up. And then you've got like programs like 16 and Pregnant, and she's thinking that if she does this, it's just going to build her audience. Now, I will say this, and I will preface this by saying I can't have kids. And as somebody that can't have kids, for somebody to prank that they are pregnant when there are so many of us that can't have kids, it's a little insulting. I'm not overly bothered about it because I know she's only young, but even still, for a lot of other people that have had a lot more hardship trying, I can understand why this would hurt even more, because they've already gone through so much, they've possibly lost children, etc. And then there's this kid that's using I'm pregnant as a way to get money, as a way to get followers, a way to get notoriety, a way to get clout, when they're over in the corner trying the best to get pregnant and they can't. So it can't, using that as a joke isn't necessarily the best taste. Like I said, for me, I've known for a while now that I can't have kids, and it's due to a few of my medical conditions, and we didn't go through the process of trying to get pregnant. It was just a case of we sat down with my doctor, we discussed it, and we decided that the risks are too high for me if I get pregnant, so it's best not to. But for other people that have gone through the losses, that have gone through the pain, I can imagine this hurting a lot more. Also, the video where they tell the parents that they're pregnant and then they tell the parents that they're going to get married that night is extremely badly acted. It's extremely badly done. And the whole situation is just really, watching that, where they're all like, they were in your car when it happened, and the guy's like, it's got nothing to do with me, I'm not. The whole thing just seemed off. I think some of the family knew what was coming because it was something that was planned, but I think a few people didn't. So they tried to get genuine reactions, but a few people had to know beforehand, so they knew it wasn't real. When they were doing an Instagram live in the car, coming back from somewhere. I think they might have been coming back from Vegas. And while they were in the car, they were talking about the 4-part series, because she put a picture up on her Facebook hinting that she was pregnant. And then they said that they were going to do a 4-part series to go up on Mike's channel. And the mother says, because Danielle says, oh, it's going to go up on Friday. And then the mother says, and you can clearly hear her say it, no, you're going to send him the video on Friday and he's going to post it on Saturday. Which I thought was pretty weird. I think she thought that she was doing a vlog, a quick video, but she wasn't. She was on Instagram Live, so the whole thing was caught. And I don't think Danielle meant for that to happen, nor her mum, but it's out there. This will likely come back to bite him in the ass. There's a very similar case, which I actually do believe is fake. Some people don't, but I do, which is the Sam and Nia case, where Sam reportedly came home from work. He worked at a hospital. He came home from work, took some of the pee that, because during the night, Nia wouldn't flush the toilet when she went to the toilet because she didn't want to wake the kids. So he came home, and then before everybody else woke up, he went into the bathroom, got some of the water and pee out of the bathroom, did a test, and it was positive. First of all, there were multiple people on YouTube that were 7, 8, 9 months pregnant that were doing the exact same test, and they weren't getting positives. A lot of doctors who turned around and said you wouldn't get a positive, and if you would, it would likely be a false positive, because the thing about toilets is they're dirty, and there was a lot of contamination in the toilets. So you never know whose urine it is that's positive, or you don't know whether something else that's in the water is causing a false positive, because it isn't urine. Because for those that don't know, when urine first comes out of your body, before it hits anything, it is sterile, which is why most of the time when you do a pregnancy test, you have to sit on the toilet and put the pee stick underneath your flow of urine. I know there's some that say you can use a cup, but they usually say a clean cup. They don't say, you know, take a couple of beers in it first and then use it. So the thing with toilet water, it isn't clean. It just isn't. And they got a lot of kickback because a couple of days later they then said that they'd miscarried. But they'd been for an ultrasound and heard a heartbeat. Been to the doctor and heard a heartbeat. But if she was only just found out she was pregnant and she was not that far gone, then how would there be a heartbeat? Because the heartbeat usually isn't readable till about, I think, I'm not sure what it is, but I know it's not within the first couple of weeks. And it came back to bite them in the ass, and they had a huge backlash away it, which involved other family vloggers. And it ruined their relation. It didn't ruin their relationship, but it did ruin their reputation online. Now, the fact is, I'm not hating on Mike, because I think Mike's literally just being pulled around for the ride, and that he's being talked into all this stuff for the money, for the clout, for the fame, because that's what all of these kids want nowadays. I want to be a YouTuber to be famous. And the mother's doing it because they're thinking of she's thinking of the money. It's like, well, I don't have to work because my daughter does this. I don't have to work because my daughter does this. And she's thinking more of the money, like stage mums do, like Hollywood mums do. You know, those people that, oh, my child can do this, well, I'm going to put him into everything that's got something to do with that, and I'm going to reap the benefits, without actually bearing in mind that child's future. Because when Danielle gets older, this will, within a couple of weeks or a couple of months, it's going to come out as fake. There's already hintings of it starting to. There's also hints that this is going to come out that it's all a prank. And when it does, her reputation is going to take a huge hit. Because it's like, well, you're going to pull on people's heartstrings for the sake of making money. You know, yes, some people do that, some companies do that, and some TV shows do that. But being, we'll say 15, because that's the age she likes to go by. Say you're 15 and you're pregnant, but you got pregnant while you were 14. And then you come out as not being pregnant. Your reputation is shot. And anything you try and do after YouTube ends, because YouTube won't be around forever. It's been around a long while. And I hope it is around for a long while to come. But there's no guarantee that YouTube's going to be here in 5 years' time, let alone 10. And the fact that she's banking on all this clout and all this fame from doing what she's doing isn't doing her any good, because in the long run it's only going to hurt her, and it's going to hurt her bad, and she doesn't quite realise that. And when I say it's going to hurt her, I mean it's going to hurt her. It's going to ruin her reputation. Anytime she goes to anywhere, people are going to know, you're the girl that faked a pregnancy, you're the kid that faked a pregnancy just for money. A 4-part series talking about we're pregnant, and that's not a money grab. And when I said earlier that there's already hints of it coming out as fake, there is, I'll leave a couple of videos up in the iCard, but there was a video from another British YouTuber, I can't remember what he's called though, and he said that she'd liked some tweets where it says, oh, it's just a prank. Where this guy's like, oh, it's just a prank, I understand why they're doing it, yeah, it is in bad taste, but she's doing it, you know, she's young, what can you expect? It is all going to come out as a prank, and she's liked that comment. I don't know whether it was on a YouTube video, the comment itself, I think it was on Instagram. But, and it's also a bad thing to do, because Danielle has a young fan base. We're talking Jake Paul young. So, just like I called Jake Paul out for his shit, I'm going to have to call her out for this shit, because if you're going to say that it's okay to a 9-year-old girl, it's okay to pretend you're pregnant, then what's going to stop that 9-year-old girl from actually getting pregnant in a couple of years' time, once the menstruation's starting, and then blaming Danielle? It's like, well, Danielle did it, so I did it. And for people that say that doesn't happen, it does. How many times as things like this happen, like, oh, my favourite YouTuber did this to somebody, well, I'll do it, and then they do it and they get their head kicked in. Doing pranks on YouTube is bad enough. Doing pranks on YouTube when your audience isn't told right away that it's a prank is even worse. Yes, there are people on YouTube that do that, but it always comes back and it always kicks them in the ass. And what's going to happen to her is exactly what happened to Sam and Neil not that long ago. And it will put her in a bad position when it comes to anybody trying to take her seriously when she's of age. Anybody. So, anyway, that's my 2 pence. Like I said, there's no video Friday. I'll be back next week. It's Easter this weekend. Depending on how me and the hubby are, we might do a live over the weekend. I don't know. It just depends on how we are. So no, I've got shopping tomorrow, and then chill Saturday, Friday. Not doing much Saturday, and then he's back at work Sunday. So, juggling all the balls. So yeah, like I said, I'm not overly upset. I'm a little bit upset, but I'm not overly upset as if somebody that's lost children. And I can understand why people that have lost children would be extremely upset about this. So I'm a little bit upset, but I haven't lost any kids. I just know I can't have kids because it's too dangerous. So, and for her to say, oh, I'm pregnant. I'm only joking, guys. And not say it straight away. Like I say, if she said it at the end of the video, or she said it by the end of the day, I wouldn't have had an issue with it. It's because she's let it go on so far and so long that I'm having an issue with it. Stay safe, be good, have fun, and I will see you next week.